this is my partner, Jonathan Castillo. We are both computer science majors, as mentioned, and this summer we worked on a project called Developing Assistive Technology with AI, and our mentor was Lilu, a PhD student at UC Santa Cruz.
So, what is AI? Before we dive in, we wanted to give a brief definition of what AI really is. Artificial intelligence, or more commonly known as AI, is the science of making machine perform tasks that usually require human-like intelligence. The help is recognizing objects, understanding language, or even making decisions. As shown as the graph below, the popularity of AI continues to grow in an upward trend.
But while AI seems incredibly powerful, it's important to remember it's not perfect. Just like any tool, it has its strengths, but also its weaknesses. It can make mistakes, especially when the data isn't given clearly. These flaws don't take away from its usefulness, though, but they do remind us that we can't rely on it blindly. One of the areas where these limits show up the most is in computer vision. That's where AI tries to see and interpret images in the way people do.
The big picture. So let's start with the big picture. Why does this research even matter? Artificial intelligence is becoming part of our daily lives. We see it in things like Siri, Alexa, and ChatGPT. We are even implementing it in our daily routines and jobs as well. But one of the areas where AI has the most potential is in assistive technology tools that can help anyone, especially with people with disabilities.
For example, if you're blind or visually impaired, something as small as reading the label on a medicine bottle can be difficult or even unsafe when it comes to sensitive information. That's where technology like AI and computer vision can step in. Computer vision is the eyes of technology. It helps specifically those who are visually impaired.
The challenge, though, is that the current tools don't always work perfectly. The graph shows that about half of the reporting ages from 21 to 64, extending to 65 and above, are visually impaired. We care about making this technology more accessible for anyone who is visually impaired and for older people, as using technology is probably not their strongest suit. For someone with these impairments, computer vision is the AI tool that they would commonly use, but even these AI tools can miss small details, make mistakes, and sometimes people can't fully trust them. And that's why we wanted to explore this subject.
So, what is computer vision? It's essentially a field of AI that teaches computers how to see and understand images and videos.
You probably used it without thinking about it. Things like face recognition to unlock your phones. We see it in traffic cameras nowadays, and we even see it in self-driving cars. But for visually impaired people, accuracy is critical. If the AI misidentifies something important, that can lead to serious issues. That's why by combining large language models with computer vision, we can create a stronger model for the users.
Here, we wanted to pause and show you this graph. I just wanted to focus on how it highlights this purple chunk, which shows the expectancy of how much computer vision will grow.
So the important thing here is not exact numbers. It's like what Brianna said, it's the trend that we see of computer vision being used rapidly and how it's actually increasing year by year. This can also just change the interaction that people have with AI in their daily lives.
For us, that growth is exciting because it means new opportunities to make assistive tools more accurate, faster, and more widely available, which feels like our project became so timely with this. So we want to talk about Be My Eyes/AI app. It's a great example of this technology. It's a free app that connects blind or visually impaired users with sighted volunteers. The user just points their phone at something, and a volunteer helps describe what's in front of them over a live video call. We decided to go with this application specifically because it's the most trendy one currently and the strongest one. It was actually developed by OpenAI, which makes it currently a top application in helping visually impaired users.
Most recently, they added a feature called Be My AI, where instead of waiting for a volunteer, the user can actually just use an AI agent and have it describe any object that they need to describe, such as the color, the text, the size, or anything else around them.
It has been super successful with millions of users and volunteers worldwide. But even with this technology, there are still challenges. Sometimes the AI misses small details or isn't clear enough. That's where our research came in.
So the focus of her research, what exactly was their focus? Our overall project goal was to explore computer vision and large language models, which are models like ChatGPT, that can work together to improve the assistive technology.
We had three specific internship goals. One was to review user experiences with the Be My Eyes app and see what was working and what really wasn't. Another was to research different AI models and test them out. And lastly was to come up with our own demo design to replicate what currently happens in the Be My AI application.
So materials and methods. So how do we do this? First, we reviewed user feedback from the Be My Eyes app. We found that most people loved the independence it gave them, but they noticed that it wasn't always accurate, such as in describing small details in a subscription bottle, or even classifying certain objects correctly.
Next, we spent some time on Hugging Face, which is an online platform full of AI models. We studied how different models worked, read about other projects, and even tested some models ourselves.
Finally, we attempted to sketch out a design for a tool that incorporates a model building it from scratch. The idea is that no single model is perfect, but by testing some of these out, we could get more reliable and accurate results. By combining and using the computer vision and large language models, we were able to create a multimodality model that allows users to interact with the model through text and images.
So here's one of our very first demos. As you can see on the left, it looks perfectly fine, but on the right, we see an error pop up. The website appeared to be fine on the outside, but once we attempted to insert an image, the application didn't always process it correctly, and it sometimes returned random errors. It's kind of like a vending machine that looks normal on the outside, but always doesn't always give you the snack you paid for. The issue wasn't the snack, but how the machine was set up inside. In our case, the problem seemed to be with how the images were passed through the system, almost like the instructions were scrambled before reaching to the part where it reads them. Debugging this was frustrating, but it helped us understand how small details can affect whether AI gives us the right answer. It also reminded us of how important reliability is for accessibility tools, because if a user runs into these same issues in real life, it can impact how helpful the tool really is.
But eventually, we reached a more successful result where we used a Hugging Face model, specifically Salesforce Blip, where our AI could provide clear and more accurate descriptions. And it could take an image and identify it. Here are here the inputs were three different images, and the outputs were the descriptions of each image. Each, even though it gave different descriptions of the image, it did left out some details for each image. For example, the picture on the left, it describes the beach and the sky, but it doesn't say the campfire is there, as well as the picture on the right side, it doesn't describe that is in black and white. It still has some flaws, but it did give out the time it took for it to give us a description of the image.
But on the positive side, people are excited to use these tools, even if the AI isn't perfect. It's still helping people feel more independent. That shows there's a lot of room for improvement and a lot of motivation to make these tools better.
When looking at the computer vision overall, we also see bigger issues. It can misclassify objects, such as saying that every round object could be a ball, when in reality, it can be a different object. It can also show bias. For example, dealing with faces, depending on the way you look, it can classify you as a sort of or as a part of a group, depending on how you look. It also raises privacy concerns since it's like recording an image of you. This also raises concerns for child protection.
From user feedback, we found three main issues with the Be My Eyes app. Navigation can still be hard for users, AI descriptions aren't always accurate, and safety is a big concern if AI makes a mistake, especially when dealing with sensitive information. For example, if someone is relying on it to read their medication instructions, even a small error could cause serious harm. Imagine the AI misreading the dosage or mixing up the timing. That could put someone's risk at health. This shows us why accuracy and reliability are so important when AI is used for real-life needs like medication intake.
The conclusions and next steps. So what does this all mean? The main takeaway is that computer vision and large language models have the potential to really improve assistive technology, but they're not quite there yet.
Next steps would be to testing out more models and continuing to work on a demo and find more ways to improvement. If we had more time, we would have liked to work on building on the first demo and combining it with different AI models.
Reflection and learnings. The internship gave us a lot of valuable experiences. On the technical side, we learned more about machine learning, computer vision, and large language models and how they come together to develop models. We also got to practice using Hugging Face and coding in Python.
But beyond the technical skills, we also saw how AI research connects directly to human needs. Working on a project like this really motivated us to continue pursuing degrees in computer science because it showed us how important the impact of technology can be when it's designed correctly.
And we wanted just to thank our mentor, Lee Lu, for guiding us through this process and teaching us everything he knows.
We also wanted to thank Sophia Kim, the SLI Director, and the entire Foothill FLI SLI program for giving us this opportunity. And of course, thank you all for listening to our presentation today.
Thank you.